My name is William Houston, H-U-S-T-O-N. First of all, is there anybody else in the room that has been to a DEC hearing before? How about 2 hearings? 3 hearings? 4 hearings? All 4? Wow. Did anybody go to any of the other ones? The ones with the hands up, Ithaca or Oneonta? Ithaca or Oneonta? Wow, okay, so there are people here that, wow, okay. I was going to brag about the fact that I've been to every one, but there's other people here that are close. So, I have good news to report to you. Fracking is dead in New York, basically. It's going nowhere because everywhere that I have gone, there has been a supermajority. A year and a half ago at the EPA hearings in Binghamton, it was 3-1 against. And now in Binghamton, it's only 4-1 against in Binghamton. Every places like the Finger Lakes and here, like here in the Catskills, New York City, it's closer to 7-1, 8-1, even 9-1, 90% against hydrofracking. It's going nowhere. It's just a matter of time before Cuomo realizes that. Okay, so the discussion that we're having right now is a good one. That basically it's we've got half of us that are saying we need to ban fracking, and the other half of us are saying we need to criminalize it. The DEC, unfortunately, when they began this process, they at the scoping stage, a priori, they said we're going to do this. We're going to regulate it. They didn't really consider the question if, and I'm suggesting that they should look at that. And as other people have said, that would require taking the no action alternative that's mentioned in the SGEIS. That would be basically a ban that would come from the governor. We don't have to wait for the legislature, although I think that's coming, as we can see with the townwide bans. We have a real chance in New York State for a ban, and we need to start spreading this to Pennsylvania and other places. We've got a really big problem in the Susquehanna River Basin. They are approving these massive water withdrawals one after another. 6 months ago, I was at the SRBC, and I think a couple of you might have even been here, a hearing in Cooperstown, and they voted for 22 new water withdrawals with millions of gallons per day each. And nobody said a word, and I prayed at that moment. I was just so shocked and stunned. And 3 months ago, if you've seen, or just recently actually, there was SRBC meeting in Scranton. When was it? December, and there was a massive disruption. And there was no vote. The vote wasn't legitimate. They adjourned the meeting before the vote, before the disruption. And we have to really start thinking about, if this governor that we have really goes through with this, we really need to consider disruptions, ruckuses, civil disobedience, whatever it takes to make him hear us. But I think we are getting through to Albany, and I just want to say thank you for all of the wonderful work that you've been doing. Thank you.
Epifanio Peter Bevilacqua from Franklin, New York. Mr. Cuomo, you better just ban fracking in New York. I am a member of Local 79, which we give political money to you guys. And Chris Chaz has told you to your face, fracking will not go on in New York. And he's an organizer of Local 79. And I'm a member of Local 79. If you want to run for the White House, you better stop fracking now. We know what you're up to. I have political pull and people that I know, and we'll make sure you don't have frack in New York if you want to run for the presidency. And if you want support from upstate Delaware County, anywhere up in upstate New York. Also, you have 5 boroughs in New York. We have 8,000 members down there. And I will bring it up in new business at the union meeting of Local 79 in the podium. And I will talk to my president to make sure it happens, and my organizers at Local 79. And you know Mike McGuire, you know Chris Kohler, you know I'm talking business. So stop now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Thompson. That's Thompson, But if you allow fracking, you'll be spelling Bill be ill. I'm a doctor, not of science, but of criminology. And I know a crime when I see one. It's called fracksterism. Fracking isn't road tested. They're learning as they go along, which makes a bit of nonsense out of regulation. There can be no environmental footprint because they don't know what the effects will be. They don't know because they don't know what the science is. The threat is not confined to these unit areas where they drill. It flows everywhere else. How can you regulate against that? Indeed, the concept of regulation is absurd. We don't have enough wastewater treatment plants. What are we going to do with all those flowback ponds? Pennsylvania shows you what happens. There's no dispute about that. We don't have to guess. Just ask the people in Alex Branch. Ask them in Dunner Creek. Ask them along the Mulangala River. They know what fracking does to the wildlife. And what's it going to do to us in Delaware County? The big issue people have mentioned before is this is a flood area. You can't control the flood water. You're not going to control what that does to any of your regulated flowback ponds. You're going to have a tsunami of pollution pouring down all over Delaware County and into the watershed waters. Como, there's simply no control. So where does this lead us? As the science is not established, you can't have regulations. The concept is absurd. As the risks are known but not being collated, and you should do that before you regulate, the concept of the regulations as they are now is ridiculous. As Pennsylvania demonstrates, it doesn't matter how many regulations you have, they don't work. Como, from your position, the risks are too great. You would need a major rethink with your regulations. From my position, and what I understand about Delaware County, the risk is so great you can't allow fracking. This is a beautiful part of the country. I deliberately moved here. There are a lot of problems here. We heard the social worker earlier on. But despite those problems, we don't have gangsters. We have a little problem with the banksters. But what we don't definitely want in future is a problem with the franksters. Como, we love the Catskills. We don't want a wasteland. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Pamela Guy. That's G-U-Y. I'm a resident of the village of Delhi. I'm also a business owner in Delhi. I have a cafe that I've run for the last 10 years. And Cuomo, if you think the New York City people are worried about their water being ruined in upstate New York, I am worried. I have a restaurant in upstate New York. I'm worried about my cafe because I am very committed to making sure that the food quality I give my customers is the highest standards. I like to shop locally, which I'm afraid my friends that are growing organically produced produce will be contaminated as well. I'm concerned for a lot of things. People before me that are better speakers than I am have more facts, more figures. You don't need them. There's enough proof out there. With Pennsylvania, Ohio. I don't need to go on any further about any of those. We all know of them. It's bad. Fracking needs to be stopped by all costs. There is no amount of money that is worth contaminating our food supply or our water supply. Sorry, I get very emotional here. I'm at a loss. Sorry, I don't understand why people allow money to destroy moral, ethical lives. There's way too many topics to even get into a 3-minute speech here. I didn't know I was going to be talking in front of all of you that I can't even look at, or I won't get anything else out of my mouth. I'm just concerned. I have children that are asking us if they frack in Delaware County, where will we go? Where is anywhere safe if you can't drink the water and you can't eat the food? You can't eat money. The world will not be destroyed by evil. It will be destroyed by people who watch and do nothing. Albert Einstein said that a long time ago, and I believe that. Cuomo, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know. Just, it needs to be stopped. Once we frack, we can't go back. You can't uncontaminate things. You can't. It's just, this is wrong on so many levels. Environmental, health issues. It's not worth it. There are other means. I don't understand why other means of energy that are squashed by the young people, because I don't even want to go into that right now, but I can't even, I'm such a bad public speaker. I'm just like, I thought I'd be alone here. Just Cuomo, my husband told me not to even bother coming here and talking because you won't listen. This will probably just go nowhere and it won't even be heard. But I don't believe that. I believe if we all get together that we can make a difference. We can do this. We can stop fracking. It needs to stop. It's already caused enough pain and damage, property damage. I own property in the village of Delhi. Thank you for my time. I'm going to go now.
Hi, my name is Ed Levy. That's Ed, E-D. Levy, L-E-V-Y. I'm from Hortonville. And I'm also amazed that we have to fight so hard to defeat this. Something that's so obviously wrong inherently and wrong for New York. It's just amazing that it's taken this much energy and time and diverting the talents of so many people. If fracking does go ahead, it'll show us just how deeply broken our political process is. And then we'll really, as someone said earlier, have to think again about what to do. I want to focus in on just one of the many thousands of things that are a problem with fracking. Most of the truck traffic associated with each well will move a significant part of the distance on state roads. The DEC has provided no input from the New York State Department of Transportation on the ability of state roads and bridge infrastructure to handle this large increase in traffic, the costs that would have to be incurred to bring state roads and bridges up to standards that can handle the increased traffic, or the ongoing cost to maintain state roads and bridges with the increased use. Drilling impacts on state roads will affect not only drilling and drilling-related use of state roads, but also the use of those roads for non-drilling related commercial, commuter, tourist, and other transportation. New York State currently has no revenue source derived from gas drilling that would help to pay for the damages done to roads and bridges. The rural communities, the impact of trucking associated with the shale gas industrialization can be massively disruptive to rural communities. The DEC has no regulatory authority over trucking. Indeed, the state has no ability to enter into road use agreements with trucking operations. The DEC, in conjunction with the New York State Department of Transportation, should provide a comprehensive analysis of drilling and drilling-related impacts on state roads and bridges, as well as a concrete plan for covering the costs of these impacts. The draft SGEIS should be withdrawn until such analysis and plan are completed. Thank you.
Galvin, Eva Galvin.
Hi, my name is Eva Galvin, E-V-A-G-A-L-V-I-N. I traveled about 2.5, almost 3 hours just to get here. And thank you for having me and giving me a chance to talk. I'm against fracking as it is. I think it's devastating. It has devastating effect in this area, and this does everywhere else. Hydraulic fracturing, or let's call it high volume horizontal hydraulic fracturing, to be precise, has devastating environmental effects anywhere in the world. They tried it in many parts of the world. They did it here in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wyoming for oil, a lot of places out of the United States. But I got to tell you, it never ever led to anything good. The gas we're gaining, the natural gas we're gaining and liquefying, is mostly going to be exported. It's not going to keep down the heating costs anywhere, though the industry tries to convince you that it is. I think hydraulic fracturing or fracking is wrong in so many levels. Most of you already said that, and I'm very proud of you guys that you're brave enough to speak up and come down here and use your citizens' rights to express your views and to speak up against something that is so awful. Just 3 points on that. Poisoning our waters is pretty obvious. We talked about it on many levels, and many people said that, and it's true. There were very few tests run on that. I'm wondering why. I'm wondering why all those wells in Pennsylvania, each and every one of them, were tested every day for poisoning. Because I believe 90% of those people who live there are not even aware that their water is poisoned. They may go to the doctors more often. They may develop asthma because of the tremendous air pollution. They may see their cattle dying or giving, having stillbirth on more than normal times, but they're not aware of that the actual reason is fracking. I mentioned the air pollution, which is hardly anybody mentioned today, but it's very significant. The methane and other gases seeping into the air is we know that the methane is probably the second most devastating greenhouse gas in the world. It just speeds up global warming in such enormous levels that most likely we're going to see the effects of global warming right in our neighborhood, even more obviously than we already have. Global warming is a true fact. It's not just something we see in the papers, and it's not even true, as we try to convince us that it's not true. As an effect of global warming, precious drinking water supplies will be limited. The value of drinking water will be so high that it will be one of the most valuable things we can come across. And the third devastating environmental effect is the wastewater treatment. It's not a solved problem. I don't see any good suggestions out there for it. The industry's only solution is to drill holes and push down the used wastewater in those fracking wells, and I'm not sure how they call it. That's not a way to treat it. Same way as a nuclear power station is not supposed to just bury their waste products in somewhere in a rock formation, because we don't know how many earthquakes going to happen there or what sort of flood events will happen there. That's not securing my future and my children's future. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Eileen, E-I-L-E-E-N, Klein, K-L-I-N-E. I've been a resident of Delaware County for 23 years. I've raised 2 children while maintaining a full-time career teaching public middle and high school biology. As all of you, I have grave concerns over this technology. I've written couple of pages here, but I will shorten it in order to get through the afternoon, and then I'll send this on to the DEC. In terms of scientific findings, there have been peer-reviewed findings that are reliable, but are not believed by our DEC or our industry that deem that fracking is unsafe. So what are we to do? The technology, to me, simply does not make sense. Using and polluting vast quantities of water, a precious resource, in order to obtain natural gas is an impractical sacrifice of one natural resource to obtain another. The current methods of temporary storage, transport and disposal, and/or subsequent cleanup of processed water has also proven impractical, inadequate, and unsafe. The external costs for well construction, road maintenance, and other supporting infrastructure, to include drilling and compressor station operation, pipeline construction, have not been realistically been calculated by the DEC. Fossil fuel use to build and maintain this infrastructure will also contribute significantly to air, water, soil, and noise pollution, as well as incur environmental health and safety hazards, resulting in unnecessary costs at the local level. I'll skip a lot of other details and re-mention that methane is a significant greenhouse gas, which will be released whether intentionally or not. The method in which the oil and gas industry has obtained natural gas in recent years through its crude and invasive technology of hydrofracking can be equated to the approach of building the plane in the air. This practice leaves the environment and its inhabitants in grave danger. The state DEC in Pennsylvania is guilty of aiding and supporting this practice. New York State should have learned that this is a fatal system, not only in Pennsylvania, but also in other states where the industry has caused collateral damage and subsequently silenced many of these individuals. It is harmed through the use of power, primarily in the form of money. The New York DEC has a duty to protect its citizens from the fallout of faulty industrial practices designed primarily to reap the profit for the industry and its investors. The intensive rate at which the industry will need to drill its wells in New York State in order to make a profit will only cause undue environmental harm. Sound environmental practices means avoiding pollution in so much as practical by preventing its source and by using the best available technology. Horizontal hydrofracking creates significant pollution for which we have no ability to adequately clean up. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mary Finneran. I'm from Cairo, New York, originally from Painted Post, New York. This past holiday break, I am a teacher. Am I too close? Okay. This past holiday break, I drove down to Painted Post to see my mother. And I saw what I thought was a white plastic bag up on one of the cliffs on the Chemung River. And I looked up and no, it was a full white-headed bald eagle. The bald eagles, they have a hatchery down there. They've been bringing back the bald eagles down there. And I was so joyful to see it. Within 30 seconds, my joy was gone. The DEC, fracking, the gas industry, Governor Cuomo has taken my joy and I want it back. I am speaking on DS sections 2 and 5, the socioeconomic conditions, the social condition that this is going to create is going to be one of rage. It's going to be one of despair. It's going to be one of uncontrolled emotions. The governor says emotions aren't here. The science is not there. The governor is going to have to deal with all of the people with their rage and their emotions. The DEC, in their community character and socioeconomic conditions, does not mention mental or emotional health. They do not talk about what's going to happen to all these people who are currently in despair, terrified that this is going to come. They do not talk about the mental conditions of those people who have leased their land, thinking they are going to be making money, thinking that this is going to be improving the lives of the community, where it's going to be destroying the lives of the community. The boom and bust is going to kill New York State. It's going to be killing more than that. It's going to be killing the mental, the social, the physical lives of all of these people. When we talk about banning, I do strongly suggest that for all these sections, the DEC throws away, just says, we do not recommend fracking in New York State. That will cause a ban. But it will not stop the waste that's coming up from Pennsylvania. It will not stop the fact that the Tioga River has been polluted and is running into the Chemung River, which is running into the Susquehanna River. This Tioga runs north into New York State. It will not stop the frack fluid that they're using on the roads. We need to criminalize every single aspect of fracking. We need to make sure that no part of fracking is allowed in New York State, and we need to spread this across the country. The whole world is watching. The whole world is depending on New York State. No fracking way. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bella Mirabella from East Meredith. Thank you. And many points have been made today, and the point that seems to resonate with me continuously is that fracking has been banned in New York City and in Syracuse. This seems to be the most salient fact. And everything we've argued today is bound up in that reality. It's banned in these two major cities. That means it's dangerous. It's dangerous for those big cities. That means it's dangerous for all of us. It's logical and it's rational. Each day, political discourse seems to get more and more irrational and illogical, and I feel like it's really important to hold on to rationality as much as we can. Further, I think to myself, what does Cuomo have to do? The role of government is to protect the state. We learned that from Machiavelli 500 years ago. It is to protect the state, its people, its institutions, and its natural environment. To protect the state so that the state can be safe and productive. That's Cuomo's challenge. That is what he needs to do. He needs to be brave. He needs to act with honesty, integrity, and dignity. He needs to do what's rational and logical. He needs to ban fracking, protect the state, and do the right thing.
Dennis McGreen. Dennis?
Thank you. My name's Dennis McGreen. I've lived in Delhi for about 1.5 years full-time, and before that rented, or actually owned a house and lived in New Jersey. When I came here today, I thought, well, I'm not going to speak. I don't know that much about fracking, and so I didn't want to, and then I thought, I really should at least express my opposition to it, so that's why I'm here today. I'm opposed to it. And I also came here today expecting that there would be people who were pro-fracking here, so I could hear both sides of the argument. There must be another side to the argument, but all I heard was water pollution, air pollution, horrible things happening to people, horrible atrocities to our environment. There must be somebody here from the pro-fracking people who are going to tell us, oh, that's not all true, this is also true. But they're not here. Where are they? I thought maybe there would be some politicians here who, there's a lot of people here, maybe they could reassure us that things aren't really as bad as they seem to be. And what I heard today is overwhelming evidence from all these speakers, all eloquent people saying, this is awful, this is horrible, and giving multiple facts over facts. It's so overwhelming, I can't believe that we're even here discussing it. This should be over, it should be done with, and it's not. So why aren't they here? Do they think it's a done deal and they don't need to be here? That Cuomo's going to do what they say anyway? Or have they given up? I don't know, but I think we have to be very, very organized. We have to stay together and keep fighting. And I don't think this is going to be over anytime soon. And I don't think we should ever give up. And that's, thank you.